to me because I got a call. I didn't know. I had never watched that show. I watched the original show, and I walked in, and there were 20. As he said, there's like 20 guys that all sort of look like you, and you're sitting there, and then you go in the room, and there's 12 people sitting on a couch looking at you to make the decision. And Kelsey and I went to Juilliard together, so I get the sides, the little scene you have to do, and it's 5 words. They're in range, sir, fire. And I'm talking to his character. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I said, they could have an extra do these things or whatever. So I go in, I'm sitting there, and there's 12 guys there, and I said, they're in range, sir, fire. Oh my God, that was so fabulous. That was really terrific. I said, who are these people? So I go home, I get a call, I said, oh, they loved you, they want to see you again tomorrow. So I go back again, and instead of 20 guys, there's 5 guys. And I walked in, I sat down, and Ira Bear was there, and he said, oh, that was very intelligent reading yesterday. Intelligent reading? So I said, they're in range, sir, fire. And I got the job. But little did I know, Ira told me many years later, he said, I went home to my wife, and I said, do you know who came in today? Casey Biggs came in today. Ira is a huge fan of the Alamo. And I did the first dramatic film, IMAX film, which was about the Alamo. I played William Barrett Travis, the hero of the Alamo. The funny thing is, I had the job when I walked in that room, and that was just because of that. And we don't know this at all. You do your preparation, you do this and that, and then you go, and who the hell knows how you get the job. And the good thing is they could have killed me off many times. I mean, I killed his daughter, what, twice or 3 times or something? I don't know. And they could have killed me off instead, but no, I kept killing them off, and Marc and I made it through the end of the series, all the way to the end.
There you go.
Yeah.
Casey, talk to me about the makeup. Was it your friend or your enemy? Were you acting through it or with it?
It's interesting. If you're a smart actor, you let the makeup and the costume do the work. I mean, you look at that brilliant makeup that Michael Westmore created, you look at Marc. Marc was the epitome of the Kardashian. I mean, I think they based every Kardashian off of him. And it was, just extraordinary. And you have to, I taught the master's program in New York City, acting and directing for 10 years. And I pound over their heads, I said, there's 3 things you have to remember: relaxation, concentration, and imagination. So in these kinds of clothes, I think all of us know here, you have to know how to relax. And then, because there are people who played our characters, they couldn't take the makeup. I mean, I had a guy was ripping it off, they just couldn't stand being in that makeup. But to your point, it was a friend to me. Because you look at that like you do mask work when you're in school, you put masks on and create characters. You look in the mirror, and that character just comes to life. Because you're looking at that. And if you're confident and you're relaxed, and you got great actors like these people on this stage to work with, you're just like a kid in a candy store.
And how satisfied were you with Damar's death? You said he made it all the way to the end, and bam.
Well, it was funny, because one of the time I'm sitting in the makeup room, and Zial was sitting there, and there's next week's script. I pick up the script, and I look at it, and I go, I killed Zial! And she goes like this, she goes, she got up and ran out of the makeup trail. She didn't know she was going to die. No. So anyway, we made it through. But my death, so I get the last... Oh yeah. They had 3 different women play your daughter, right?
I know. I would come into work, there'd be a different daughter.
A different daughter, right? Couldn't find the one you like. So I get the last script, what you leave behind. It's a fabulous 2-hour, episode. And I look at it and I said, okay, last 5 minutes, I get killed, okay. And then I look at it and it says, Damar is killed by an ND alien. You know what ND means?
Nondescript.
Nondescript. So I went to Alan Craker, who directed that episode, wonderful guy. I said, Alan, I can't be killed by a nondescript alien? And he said, well, how do you want to die? And I said, I want to have a John Woo death. You guys know who John Woo is?
Sure.
Bullet ballets, that's what he shoots. So I said, I want to have 2 big guns. I want to take out 50 Jem'Hadar, and I want to die in somebody's arms. And Alan sits there for a minute, he looks at me and says, okay. So if you go back and you look at that episode, we had this wonderful scene with Kira and all that, and then I take out all these guys, and my chest explodes, and I die in Garrick's arms. They give me Garrick.
Hey, Casey, what was your last line?
Oh, yes, I get shot and I get killed, and I'm looking up at Garrick, and I say, don't. And I die. That don't was not in the script. I just wanted to see if I could get it in there. Because you couldn't change the scripts at all. You know, they would not let you change the script. And so I did it, and I looked at it, it was in it. And a lot of, I come to the convention, they said, what were you going to say? Don't what? Don't what? Don't what? Don't stop the checks from coming. Anyway, that's that story.
There you go. Gary, let's move on down to you. When your Star Trek opportunities came up, you had already done a decent amount of sci-fi. So I'm wondering, were you reluctant to do Star Trek, or did you say, I'm an actor, I got bills to pay, I'm doing Star Trek?
The latter, yes. I considered it a great... well, I had auditioned for Star Trek 9 or 10 times before, and I didn't know... I said, okay, I don't really... all right, I see, but I'm not sure. So I just winged it, which is, you know, you don't do... You prepare for these things. You do your whole... I didn't know, but I just said, they've seen me 10 times. What can I do? Chinese accent? I don't know what. So I just read it and got cast, and I thought, oh man, let me try and remember what I did, because I didn't really know how to play this guy, Saval. He's an old Vulcan, and so I showed up on the set the first day. We're about to shoot. I was only hired for 1 day for the filming of the pilot. And I showed up on set, and Rick Berman holds out his hands, you look like a Vulcan. I said, well, thank you, I guess. Can you tell me about the Vulcans? Because I really don't know who they are. You know, and we were 15 minutes away from shooting the opening shot of a big confrontation with Archer. And his face fell, and he put his arm around me and walked me around the set and told me about the history of the Vulcans, and how far from having no emotions, they had volcanic, mercurial emotions, and to survive at all, their species learned how to, through the mind and reason, to quell their animalistic impulses. And I thought, wow, that's infinitely more impressive and more thoughtful than what I had planned. So with another 10 minutes to go, I put that in my brain and went in there, and it seemed to work. And I said, if I'm going to be this character, let me be as imperious and haughty and arrogant and just snotty as possible to Archer, and maybe they'll bring me back. So it all worked, and I was happy to do it, and feel honored to be in the Star Trek family.
And then talk about the mirror version.
Wait. You guys, obviously you know how brilliant Gary was in Alien Nation, right?
Oh, thank you.
Little known fact, and Gary probably doesn't even remember it. It was either him or me for that part. Oh. And who got the part? Gary Graham.
Oh, wow. Beating out the incredible Casey Biggs. All right. Now I feel good. All right.
You filmed that in Canada, right?
No, we filmed it in L.A.
Oh, you did?
Downtown L.A.
Because I was going into Canada to do a show and sit next to you on the airplane.
Really? Did we know each other then?
No. We started talking.
You took the last bag of peanuts, as I recall.
I did. But we were talking about something, and I'll never forget you saying, well, man, I like to shake the ladder. Whatever. Oh, I think it was...
I said shake the ladder?
Yeah, I had seen Bill Murray.
Comes out of my mouth.
I had seen Bill Murray in the elevator, who was kind of related by marriage to me, and I didn't want to talk to him. He had a bunch of fans around him and all that, and I said, I just didn't do it. And I told you that, and you said, oh man, I like to shake the ladder. I would have grabbed him by the arm and said,
Are you sure it was me?
Yeah, it was
okay.
you.
And Gary, talk to us about the mirror version of the character. How free was that to go a whole other angle with it?
From Alienation to...
No. Back to Star Trek.
Back to Star Trek.
You're Vulcan going to...
Oh, the arc. The four-year arc. Yeah. I thought right away, I said, well, listen, for me to be, first of all, have longevity, have legs on this run, I'm going to have to be such an impediment to Captain Archer, just snotty and arrogant and condescending, and just be as horrible as I can be, and it worked, and I sort of I thought I was leading the writers in that direction by being so awful, and yet I wanted to leave a modicum of just hope for the guy. Just release little inklings that maybe he's starting to understand the humans, and maybe even start to accept them, and maybe, because of you, start to like them. And Vaughn was my sort of conduit into appreciating the humans. I saw you as the least reproaching, the least despicable of the humans. So almost a friend, not quite a friend, but somebody I could actually talk to and reason with, and you sort of opened the way for me to appreciate the humans.
Well, that's cool.
So I felt really deeply moved, and here's my deeply moved face. When you expired, and
Well, I saved you when I expired.
yes, you did. In that your last move on Earth was to save my life.
So it was wise
I
of
haven't
you.
thanked you for that. I wanted to thank you.
It was wise of you to hook yourself to my
Yes,
stuff.
it was.
Max, let's move to you, because we only have a few minutes left. Rom is really one of the most beloved recurring characters in all of Star Trek.
Yeah!
My question for you is, when did you realize that the character was connecting with the fans? How soon into your job doing this role?
He still hasn't realized it.
Right, look at that befuddled look.
I want to say I have the best seat in the house, listening to all these wonderful actors tell where they're from and their adventures. So thank you for this seat.
You're very welcome. Front row.
I don't know, and the thing about Casey answered the question about the wardrobe getting in the way. You know, I had to work with these teeth. One of them was a snaggle tooth that worked its way into my upper lip, and I only sounded like this. And I went to the makeup, Michael Westmore, to the makeup department, and said, "What do I do about this?" He said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to loop you." Looping is, does everybody know what looping is?
Yeah.
You go over your voice on a sound in a recording studio. And I said, no, I don't want to be looped. And I realized that, because I was sounding like this, that if I opened the back of my throat like that, it sounded... So I could speak, I didn't have to speak here, because it was like whining, even though Rom was a bit of a whiner starting out. From here, this is Rom, this is where, so the voice came from the teeth.
Holy crap.
Let's hear Moogie. Come on.
And I
Come on, let's hear Moogie.
Moogie.
Max Grodénchik, everybody. Hey, we only have like a minute left, so I'm afraid we're not going to have time to take questions from the audience. But I did want to make sure that we talked about Aaron Eisenberg, because this is our first get-together
Yeah.
with all of you, with all of them, without our friend Aaron. So you're the person to discuss this, Max. What do you remember most fondly about Aaron Eisenberg?
I remember that he irritated the hell out of me. And I would give anything to have him keep doing that if he were still around. I mean, the last time I saw him was this convention 2 years ago. And he said goodbye, we said goodbye. You know, you always think you're going to see somebody again. Maybe that's just natural, but he was he was fan friendly before the word was invented. You know, he said, "Max, come on, let's go take a picture with this guy." You know, he sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about.
And he was sometimes my son when we were working on the show, and sometimes he was my parent. He was so smart in so many ways that I wasn't, and he taught me things. And when he did that scene with Jimmy Darren, where he breaks down in what is the name of that episode? Oh God,
And the moon, something about the moon.
Only a paper moon.
Pale moonlight?
Only a paper moon?
Yeah.
Paper Moon. And when he came, when he shot that final, that scene where he breaks down, and he came out and he saw me, and he was in tears. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, I just did this scene better than I've ever done any scene in my life.
Yeah.
And he was, it was great. It was, and the fact that they gave him and Jimmy Darren an episode together, not series regulars. They were the A story. He was so proud of that they trusted him to do that. I don't know what else to say, but
No, that was great. Thank you. Let's have a hand for Aaron. We miss you. All right, everybody, that's the end of this panel. Let's thank